Hello, I'm Robin Boyce, and welcome to City Corner. Today we're going to be talking about the biosciences here in St. Louis and the Jason Johnson Memorial Walk. Welcome. And welcome to City Corner. I'm Robin Boyce, and in the studios with me today for this episode is Dr. Cheryl Walker-Moore, who is Director of Bioscience and Entrepreneurial Inclusion for BioSTL. That's a lot to say.
Absolutely.
Wow. Cheryl, thank you so much for coming in and talk with us about bioscience. Tell us, what is BioSTL?
BioSTL is a nonprofit organization, and let me say thank you for inviting me
More
in
than welcome.
for this opportunity to talk about BioSTL. We are a nonprofit organization. I've been around St. Louis for at least 14 plus years, and actually they were one of the major collaborators here and looking at the bioscience industry as an opportunity to become an economic driver here in the city of St. Louis. It's taken 14 years. This was under the leadership of Dr. Danforth, as well as other entities here in the St. Louis market. It took about 14 years, and now we're starting to see a lot of the growth, a lot of the activity in the Innovation District, which is known from Washington University down to St. Louis University.
So that's called what they call the Cortex.
Correct.
Okay.
It's called the Innovation District.
So in that particular area, and with reference to the biosciences and what you do, is that a place where businesses in science are going to incubate, or these are businesses that are already in operations in other parts of the country or the world are going to move to? Tell us how that all works.
Absolutely. Actually, it's both, because we do have existing organizations that are in that district. Sigma Aldrich is one of the larger organizations that's there, but there are also opportunities, and that's what Cortex is doing, is actually looking at opportunities to bring organizations here, especially in that district. That is an incubator district. They're looking to bring startups that are focused on specifically life science, but as well as other entities. And that's really being tied through Washington University, as well as SLU. Cortex is a big driver of that, as well as the Center of Emerging Technologies. One of the companies that they have attracted here most recently is the Cambridge Innovation Center out of Boston, out of Cambridge. And that organization, actually, they are at the At 4240 building, as well as Center of Emerging Technologies. They are one of the organizations that support the infrastructure for entrepreneurs from a building resource standpoint. So they're doing a lot of rehab out of the CET building. They just invested $5 million into that construction project, actually doing like a facelift of that organization. But being able to provide, as they call them, their clients with services that support the entrepreneurial activity that's associated with
now,
that.
Now, you're involved with, when you say inclusion and entrepreneurial, you're including who in this process?
In our program is a pilot program, actually, that kicked off in February of this year. We wrote a grant last year looking at how can we get more women and underserved minorities in this bioscience space, because it is a huge opportunity growth driver here in the St. Louis market. And we wrote a grant to Blackstone Partners, which is one of the largest private equity companies in the world, their foundation. And out of 500 applications that they received, we were 1 in 10 that they're supporting nationally this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really, really exciting for us. So we kicked off this year with actually trying to lay a framework and provide a pathway for those professional women and underrepresented minorities to really understand what are the opportunities here in the market. We kicked off in June and July a couple of events where we invited those folks from our area. We had over 100 plus attendees at each meeting. And we talked about what is bioscience, what are the opportunities here in bioscience in the St. Louis market. How can you, if you have the background and the skills, you might be working in a finance organization, but just understanding that those skills are still needed in this community and startup communities.
And a lot of people don't generally think about that with reference to what they might be working in at that time.
Absolutely.
And connecting that to bioscience. I got an opportunity, and we do have some photographs of that event most recently, if they could roll those for us, of an entrepreneurial event that you held.
Yes.
And in that process, you had 5 panelists, I think it was, and they were all in different types of fields. You had some that were in the sciences, you had others that were actually the administrative person.
Absolutely.
Really surprised me. This was a lady who was an administrative assistant, but she started a business that would then support those startups with reference to answering their phones, et cetera, et cetera?
Absolutely. She was an admin over at the NIDA Center, which sits on Monsanto's campus.
Okay.
It was an incubator at that point.
But she started her own business.
She started her own accounting and bookkeeping business, and now she has a thriving business where she has about 2 to 3 employees right now, and she's doing very, very well servicing organizations or startups that are in the life science segment. We also had, the whole focus of that whole panel was to show people these folks were not chemists, they were not scientists. We had 1 engineer on the panel, but they saw the opportunity to bring forth different types of business. One business was in the agricultural space. This was an attorney, and they're looking at how do you commercialize and use intellectual property when you're talking about agricultural type of assets. Another young lady, she came from the mobile tech background, and her company is called Healthy Me. She's using the cell phone and texting capability in order to capture a piece of the market in the healthcare segment. So,
you know, people wonder, okay, when you talk about science, they're thinking about these folks sitting behind microscopes.
Exactly.
With needles, about to stick something, you know, with the little jars and growing things. But it's not necessarily those kinds of positions or jobs that are available that are about to explode. Is this an explosive industry that's about to really happen here in St. Louis?
Absolutely. St. Louis is targeted to be one of, in the top 5 for entrepreneurial activity in the country. So we are positioned very nicely, and it's not just life science, but from the tech field. And when you look at life science crosses a myriad of different industries.
Like for what, for example? I mean,
for example, if you have great computer skills, background, understand how to code, genomics, which is an industry within the life science industry, because of the Genome Project from the 1990s, basically, that was an $80 billion investment by the U.S. government for that Human Genome Project. Now, because of that project and all of the data that's coming out of there are being different tools that didn't exist before that need to be developed, that are being developed for people who have the computer background and skills. These biotech companies, pharma companies, they utilize, and they need to utilize this data in the development of research and products. Well, that's not their sweet spot. They need folks who have the understanding of how to manipulate this data so it's usable data in the use of their research. So if you've got that great background, that's a very hot area. That $80 billion industry is now over an $800 billion industry today.
So a person who understands stats is
absolutely
someone that could get involved with reference to helping that company.
Absolutely.
And figuring out those numbers and helping others come on board with reference to what does this mean for the product, what, you know. There was a young lady that was on the panel that had developed some kind of a tool or mechanism. I forgot her name, but she was so excited about incubating this project and it coming to life for her.
Yeah, I wonder if this is the Healthy Me person that you were talking about with the IT background.
Did she have an IT background?
She's using a cellular, like I said, cellular technology device.
There was some tubing that she had developed or something that was a mechanism that could be used, and it's not ready for market yet. but she was very excited about it. She worked for Monsanto.
Yes, that's
previously.
Vicki Gonzalez. She
Yes.
actually is the one of the managing directors for an organization. They manage a portfolio of different organizations, and one of the areas that she's looking at this whole advanced manufacturing, which is
Yes.
huge in the life science space too.
Okay,
as well.
so you got those scientists and individuals who can come into this whole movement if that's something that you're interested in.
Right.
Then the manufacturing side is
Absolutely.
a whole nother aspect.
It's a whole nother animal. When you look at logistics, how do you move a lot of these biotech products that need to be moved from manufacturer to the end user? Some of these products have to be stored differently. They have to be logistically transported differently. So there are opportunities in this space that didn't exist before, all because of how research is changing in this area. And also, when you look at the larger companies, they are trying to stick with their core competence. They don't want to have to, if they're a pharma company, they're not a computer company. So they're looking for opportunities to partner with organizations that can help them fulfill their own mission and their research without them becoming this.
That in line is the whole entrepreneurial end. You've got some workshops coming up pretty soon.
Absolutely.
We're running out of time. Tell us about some of those things that are about to happen.
Yes, in the fall, we're collaborating with Cortex with a 10-week boot camp, and they will have 3 segments to their boot camp. One is focused on the bioscience module, this is where we're partnering. There's another module with IT and another with consumer retail. With this 10-week boot camp, it is a selection process, an application process. And what they will do is take these individuals in, help them with a business plan if they have a great idea.
Excellent.
And at the end of that 10 weeks, we've set aside funding. There's going to be a business plan pitch competition, and we're supporting a minority or woman candidate that comes through that process that could win this money.
So what they would win are dollars to support their business?
Absolutely.
This is excellent. All right, we've got the information up on a full screen so that people can reach out to you and find out more about bioscience and the boot camp coming up. Dr. Cheryl, thank you so much for coming in and talk with us about this on City Corner. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I
We hope that
appreciate
people
it.
just really get ready to really grow St. Louis.
Well, I'm excited. I've started my company with this whole premise too as well, so I'm very excited.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you
you.
for coming in. And we'll be right back with the Jason Johnson Memorial Walk.
Experience St. Louis.
This financial advisor is being accused of committing one of the largest investment frauds in the history of the United States.
I guess we're not going to Aspen. That's fine. You see, I like tennis balls. He likes insider trading. So he's going to jail and I'm going to a shelter. And no, they're not the same thing. Shelters are for good pets that want to be adopted. Jails are for criminals. I did nothing. Uh-oh. Ooh, okay, I stole a cheeseburger once. I'm my dog.
For those dealing with the struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for advice and support.
Over 13 million people are affected by famine, war, and drought in the Horn of Africa.
Make a simple text donation of $10.
But do more than donate. Forward the facts.
And welcome back to City Corner. I'm Robin Boyce, and in the studios with me right now are Ms. Shameen Hubbard, who is Committee Chair in Public Relations for the Jason Johnson Memorial Walk, and Pat Miller, who is a member of Charlie's Body Shop, and this is the organization that puts on the Jason Johnson Memorial Walk. Hello, ladies. How are you?
How you doing?
Great. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for coming in the studio and talking with us about the Jason Johnson Memorial Walk. Tell us a little bit about the history of Jason and who he was.
Okay, we first want to say thank you for having
You're
us,
very
giving
welcome.
us this opportunity. Pat and I we're honored to stand in the gap for Evangelist Charlie Kibbe Johnson, who couldn't be here today, to tell you about this memorial walk for her son, Jason Johnson, who was the victim of a hate crime. But one of his overall goals in life was to use physical activity to keep our youth engaged on the right path, streamlined, and working towards their own goals like it helped him in his lifespan. So we do this walk. Charlie took that crime, took that tragedy, and turned it into this health walk, which engages, once again, the community, the youth, in a positive environment, in a positive way to memorialize him. This will be our fourth annual.
This is the
Jason-
fourth
this
annual
is the fourth
one.
Annual, biannual. We do it every 2 years.
Okay.
Jason Johnson Memorial Walk, and we want to use it this year as a tool to try to amend all the turmoil and the frustrations and things that are going on in our community right now.
Right.
With
With
the
the most
tragedy
recent,
with
yeah.
Michael Brown, because they parallel each other with the race relation and the tear in that in our community. So we want to try to use this again to support our community, uplift our community, and that.
Actually, and actually what Charlie Johnson has done is taken this walk, and she actually walks in the community. You all have walked through North St. Louis. The Charlie's Body Shop is located on Maffett, and that's in the North St. Louis area. And she has actually walked through the community there. And people have asked, I mean, Pat, you've been involved for many years right now with Charlie over there working out with her every week. And tell us, the walk through the community, how that feels.
Well, it feels great to let people know there are positive things going on, that we're alive and well, that exercise is real. There are benefits of exercise because, as you know, we are all ages. Matter of fact, we're up to the morning class. We have ages up to 85.
I call you girls the Golden Girls.
Yeah, so it's an ongoing process. And exercise has a lot of benefits beside the physical aspect, the mental aspect of it. Because when you're walking, it's something that happens with your thinking, and it's empowering. So when we walk the neighborhoods, we let people know we are alive and well. There are good things happening in North St. Louis, and we're not going to go away or hide. We're proud to be constituents and members of North St. Louis.
Yes, in a Charlie's Body Shop. Charlie has been in that community. She has refused to move.
Yes,
I mean,
over 30 years.
Right, and more than 30 years.
Over 30
And people have asked her to move to North County because a lot of the folks who come to Charlie's Body Shop, who bring their children there for dance lessons and have a beautiful recital every year, from North County area. Or other parts of the city, and they have asked her, well, why don't you move out of there? And Charlie refuses to move.
That's right. She's proudly served in North St. Louis, Maffett and Kings Highway area, over 30 years, and she's very proud of that.
And so now with reference to the walk, there's some activities that you have going on as well. In the past, you've had some breast cancer awareness that has gone on. There's some. Are you going to have some lessons and workshop this year?
Yes, we're going to have. We're looking forward to. We're looking for vendors now, actively looking for vendors, but we're looking forward to working with a lot of different community health partners, not just physical health, but mental health, spiritual health, overall health and wellness and healing is our theme for this fourth annual Jason Johnson Memorial Walk.
And this is taking place September
27th from 7:30 to 12:30. We're going to have the health fair, vendors, workshops and things at CBS at Charlie's Body Shop, 5017 Maffett, but we're going to actually do the walk this year at All Saints Episcopal Church's parking lot, which is just north of them. It's the old Benton School lot, and we're going to be able to set up a track there.
What a wonderful way to utilize that space.
We're excited about working with St. Louis Metropolitan police department, we're going to have 5th District Captain John Hayden, who we're
They've always
excited
been
about
very
as our Grand
cooperative
Marshal.
over there.
Yes,
Great,
as our
great.
Grand Marshal, and then we're going to have community prayer led by our leader, Evangelist Charlie Kibbe Johnson.
Awesome. So you're going to walk through the community, and then are you going to just walk around the Benton Park space there, make a track out of that instead of walking around? That is awesome. What a really great thing to do with that space over there. I've always seen that space, and I've just put it out there as the new Charlie's Body Shop auditorium. And I've always seen that as a space where it could be utilized for training and activities and things that people could do in the North St. Louis area. So this walk is a great memorial toward a great young man who met an unfortunate death, and it is in relation to what we've seen happen here most recently in the North County area with reference to Michael Brown. We give our condolences to his family and what has happened there. But what we're seeing here with reference to what Charlie's Body Shop has done is taken that tragedy and turned it into a positive to continue to fundraise, to keep our young people busy in the community.
Right.
You know, and affording scholarships.
Yeah, we have the funds that we raise actually goes directly 100% back into Charlie's Body Shop, where we have programs, like we said, we service all the way up in the 80s down to 3-year-olds. And we put it towards upkeep, programs, scholarships, full and partial scholarships.
This is a nonprofit organization, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You know, so it's a nonprofit organization, and you're also looking for funders to help you out with this walk.
Oh, of course.
Yes, we're looking for funders, we're looking for vendors, we're looking for profit and nonprofit vendors. So we have opportunities for both of them, those kind of entities, to set up booths. Speakers, if you're a speaker and you want to come do a small workshop, again, we're going on the overall theme of wellness, spiritual, physical, and mental wellness, and healing, because our community really needs healing at this time. And why not do it through a great workout, a great walk, and make a difference for people? Pat, speaking from the Golden Girls' point of view, getting up and getting over there exercising with Charlie, what does that do for you?
It gives me a better perspective on life. It always lets me know how blessed I am. We normally pray before we exercise, and it's just positively wonderful. The atmosphere, the environment, the example that Charlie gives us, a true woman of faith. You know, recently she lost her second son, and she has been such an inspiration of what you can do when you really believe in God. And she has a tremendous love for people. So I would say being a member of Charlie's keeps me in love with life and all the possibilities that are to come if I put the effort forward. So
this makes you feel different, doesn't it? When you go in there and you work out, and
you can't pay her for it. You want to be a tip when you leave, because you're just excited about being yourself. You're so thankful for where you are and what you have. You're not worried about anything else. You know you're going to have problems and concerns, and we gather around each other because you have experienced it. And it's nothing like having support, and support for people who have walked in your shoes. So it's just a wonderful life experience. And Charlie has devoted her life in developing people. And how many people have come through the Body Shop, how many people have come through who were barren and later they had children. We're just changed people. We're changed people because of Charlie.
It's a great experience. I know that my granddaughter has been a participant over the years. I've participated over the years in exercise. Used to work out with you in the mornings.
And 6 a.m.
And I miss that because I really would love to get back to that, and I will one day soon get back there. But Mimi, you have 2 little precious baby girls. And both of them are dancing now, Mimi. Oh my goodness. Charlie also has the dance classes for the young girls. Tell me about your experience in getting your babies over there.
It's awesome, amazing. It's overwhelming. If you remember, I was part of the 6 a.m. class as well. Through my pregnancy. And when Attila entered into this world, she was up at 6 a.m. with us. It's just an amazing experience, and I'm just so honored to be a part of Charlie's Body Shop, liturgical dance ministry. And of course, like you said, my 2 daughters are dancing there now. And I dance there now.
I know.
So it's just awesome. Like you said, with the building and the uplifting people, you can't get it anywhere else. We're like what do we call ourselves? The
Miracles on Maffett
Miracles
Street.
on Maffett.
I like that.
Miracles on Maffett.
Miracles on Maffett. That makes a difference. I mean, it's all about healthy living, don't you think?
Yes.
And prayer.
Yes.
And bringing people together to heal the community.
That's
Because
right.
if you're not feeling too good on the inside, all other kind of crazy stuff happens. I mean, don't you see that?
Yeah.
That a lot of times that people, I guess, that don't get that frustration out or have the opportunity to come and work out in the mornings or in the evenings or whenever you can get over there, you get those frustrations and the stressors off of you, and you have an opportunity then to really feel better about yourself.
And we have the opportunity to stand in the gap for the people.
Yes, in the community. So you actually pray for the community,
Yes.
pray for the kids that are there.
Yes.
Because I noticed that it's across the street from the Covenant House as well, which used to be Blessed Sacrament. It was Bishop Healy, and now it's the Covenant House, which takes care of homeless teenagers. And I noticed that Charlie talks about the Covenant House a lot, and making sure that we pray for the young men and women that are housed there, and really be friendly to them and talk to them about how you doing, what's going on, because they'll sit out sometimes, chilling out or whatever. And she said, speak to them. Make sure that.
Oh, yes, yes, we do that.
So go ahead, Pat.
Well, at one time, Charlie we had a Zumba class in the evening, and some of the young ladies would come over, and they were part of our class.
Now that's wonderful. So she's inclusive of folks
yes,
coming in.
yes,
We're running
yes.
out of time, ladies. I want to thank you
Okay.
so much for coming
Thank
on
you.
the
Thank
show
you.
and talking
Thank you.
to us about the Jason Johnson Memorial Walk. It takes place September 27th. Okay.
7:30 to 12:30 p.m.
All right.
I'm glad that we have the information up,
Yes.
so you can call us and contact us. We would love for you to be a part.
Thank you so much, Mimi. Thank you, Pat, for coming on. It's
Thank
good seeing you.
you.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on City Corner or checking us out this afternoon. And we hope to see you the next time here on City Corner.